Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds Podcast.
Each episode, we invite extraordinary guests who are masters of their craft. They're innovators, entrepreneurs, and of course, motorcycle enthusiasts who have made their mark in the world.
They share their stories, insights, and hard-earned wisdom, giving you a front row seat to the strategies and experiences that shape their successes.
So sit back, grab a drink, and get ready for an exhilarating ride as we dive deep into the minds of these exceptional individuals.
Along the way, we'll uncover powerful strategies, gain fresh perspectives, and explore the limitless possibilities of what it takes to be an American mastermind. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds Podcast. I am your host tonight, Topher, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Rob Adams.
What up, what up?
We got Scott Watson up on the sound deck. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. I have been working so hard to get these group of guys on our podcast, and I can't wait to see where we go tonight. We are joined by Pirate, Ghost, and Face from the Punishers. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
So let's jump right in. Let's start with a little background and just a short little clip. Tell us who the Punishers are and kind of what you're about.
So Punishers are a law enforcement motorcycle club. We have law enforcement, fire, military, EMS, and like-minded individuals in our organization. Our worldwide motto is in service to others. So every chapter around the world, they hold events and attend events to help other people, and that's what we're all about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was reading this charter up here, and I just have to ask a question. So I don't know who it was, but my dad, who has a motorcycle, he broke down on the side of the road, and a group of Punishers showed up and got talking to him, and now we're in criminal law, and somehow he thinks he is, he fits the qualifications and is going to go find you guys.
Well, if he really is interested, give him my number, have him reach out, and depending on where he lives, we can definitely find a chapter close to him.
All right. Well,
Very cool.
I'll have to pass that information on to him. So go ahead. I know you'd like to lead us off with something.
Oh, well, gentlemen, so we have law enforcement. We've got different departments, and we're not going to discuss the departments for anonymity of those departments, but how long have you been in law enforcement, Pirate?
10 years now.
10 years, long enough to know better.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And Ghost, you said you were in for 7 years?
Yeah.
And then Face, you were in for how long? 5 years. So, long enough to know better. That's interesting. What is it that drew you, let's start with you, Pirate, into law enforcement?
Well, honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into. My uncle, he worked for a local agency, got pretty high up, and he was really talking to me about going into law enforcement when I turned 21, and I did my own thing for a few years, and when I was 26, one of my really good friends from high school, he called me and said, hey, you should apply to this agency and come work with me, and I applied, got hired, and he left to another agency like right before I got hired, and started off and just continued, and I've transferred to one other agency since then. And
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like in law enforcement, I was in law enforcement for a while, mostly corrections, nothing, no judgment. I did my time, and I started at the prison, and then I went to the county, and then it just seems like there's always a better program just over the horizon. And it seems like there's some level of dissatisfaction in departments where you're just like, man, I can't bet they don't do that over there. But then you go over there, and guess what? They do that. They do that thing. So it's an interesting dance. People move around quite a bit, so you never know who you're going to be working with if you sit around long enough. The people come and go, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I actually started at the state prison as well.
Oh, is that right?
So, yeah, I worked U-101, went to transport, did the whole SWAT thing and all that. So.
Wow, the SWAT. Did you run up the Widowmaker?
Yeah, I have ran up the Widowmaker. Yeah.
I tried out for those fools, never made it, so props on you, because I thought I was pretty tough until I got to the top of the Widowmaker and was rethinking my toughness. It was...
Wait, what's the Widowmaker?
Well, the Widowmaker, if you remember on Any Given Sunday, that motorcycle movie,
Yeah.
There's that out in Draper, that's a hill that they rode the motorcycles
Oh,
up.
yeah. Okay.
That's called the Widowmaker,
Yeah.
and there's a point that they, on the SWAT team, they would run you up to the top of the Widowmaker, and back then, when I was there, the road still went all the way down around. The mine hadn't taken over, that strip mine there. Then you'd come back around, and then they would take you, and you would do it's kind of a hostage simulation or something. So you were just exhausted. I would be beat down, and then they took you in, and you'd have to do some kind of
and I just got my butt kicked. The guy just owned me. I'm just like, all right, here's my gun. Go ahead, do whatever. I was so exhausted. So props. That's an amazing feat. Appreciate that story. So how about you, Ghost? What got you into law enforcement?
I came from a family that did nothing but give to other people. I followed in my mom's footsteps. She was an EMT for 42 years, always in service to other people. When I got old enough, moved out, got into security, executive protection, stuff like that. Then I went into the sheriff's office. I did search and rescue. I was on the high-angle ropes rescue team.
Wow.
So.
That's some technical stuff. Training never ends there. You're always in training.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're never sitting around. That's not the kind of law enforcement where you get to have a cup of coffee. Just, like those guys are out busting it all the time. So, because you're never fully ready, right?
No.
It's amazing. All right, Face, what's your story?
So originally my goal was to go into the military. So I did ROTC in college. Things happened. Didn't end up working out. Lost my NCAA scholarship. Shattered my arm.
What sport?
Doing dumb shit.
Fighting BJJ.
No shit.
Yeah, I was in a tournament. Had my arm shattered.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
So, not the smartest move when you're on an NCAA scholarship. Maybe don't do that. But left college, and I was actually still wanting to serve in some capacity, but had no idea what I was doing. So, in the meantime, I was actually working for a church, just as facilities technician, security coordinator, kind of the fix-it guy, more or less. But we contracted to the local police department for private security on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So through working with them and talking with them, kind of told them about my background a little bit, and they said, well, we're hiring. Have at it. So threw the application in and spent 5 years running around Metro Atlanta.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I got into law enforcement, very similar story to you. It was family. They're just like, what are you doing now? And I had no definite direction in my life, and I ended up started at the prison, and it was a great experience. I'm so glad I got to it. Ex-military. I served in the Navy. I actually was still in the Navy when I joined, and so I ended up going from there, and then went joined the sheriff's office, and they were loaded with Army National Guard, the MP unit that's out there. There was a ton of us that were in there, and they were like, "You should come out to our weekends. This is this and this, and we had to shoot guns." And I was like, "Man, that sounds like a good time." So I jumped from the Navy over into the Army. Had to do all my training again, but what a great experience for me to go through as a young man to really form up some discipline and put some perspective in my mind that I don't know if I'd have. Once you can't unsee some of the things you get to see. That's the truth, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've
Get
seen
to
some.
or have to see.
Yeah, both, right? It's sometimes an adventure. Like, I can't believe I just saw that, and there's other teams like, I can't believe I just saw that. Like, it's terrible. So
That's the horse story that he wants me to tell.
let's hear it.
Let's
Let's hear
go,
it. Now
let's
that we're
hear
in it.
Oh, goodness.
Just so you know, I haven't heard this story either. So
You haven't heard the horse story?
no, I haven't heard it.
So, those that aren't familiar with Metro Atlanta area, Interstate 85, as it gets down towards Atlanta, it's pretty wide. I think in downtown Atlanta itself, across both lanes, it's like 20 lanes.
Oh.
It's something stupid. Yeah.
Wait, is that one direction?
No, going both ways.
Okay.
All the way across it, down in the center. So where I worked, when this incident happened, it was 5 lanes across. Anyway, we had a lot of people that worked in South Georgia as horse traders, farmers, that kind of thing, and they would drive up to North Georgia mountains for different fairs, events, rodeos, things like that. Well, one Thursday or Friday, we get a 911 phone call that we initially assume is a prank because somebody's saying there's bodies on Interstate 85. So we're like, the fuck? So the sergeant kind of pushes it off, and we think it's a joke. Then it's, there's more, and it just starts to snowball. So we start getting people out there. We're lights and sirens the whole way. We're screaming over 100 miles an hour. We think we're, getting ready for something, right? So I get about a half a mile to where they they say the incident has taken place. And I go to start slowing down, and I start sliding. I'm sliding on 85 northbound in a police car.
What?
Yeah. Come to find out that a farmer that was taking his horses up to some event in North Georgia, the back door of his horse trailer had become unlocked or broke or something like that. And 4 of his horses fell out of the back of the trailer. 3 of them got obliterated by a tractor trailer and various other vehicles.
Oh my God.
So I am sliding through horse blood and body parts. Yeah, and it's all over 85.
Oh my God.
So there were in fact bodies on 85.
Horse bodies.
Yeah.
Oh man, but you can't tell the difference probably when you're sliding through it.
No, you're sliding through it. The underside of our cars were just disgusting.
Oh,
That's gross.
But yeah,
Terrible.
it was a whole section, and it was right where it broke from 85 to 985. So we've got 6 lanes of this major interchange shut down, and yeah.
God, yeah. 1 horse could take 2 lanes, no problem.
Well, how do you clean that up? Even do you have to call up the hazmat team?
So basically, we called the fire department for a washdown. Well, first, those of us unlucky enough to be working put on rubber gloves, and we're like grabbing hooves and ears and manes and like having to pull it out of the roadway, right? So like people can travel. And then we get the fire department out and just kind of have them hose it down to the best of their ability. But aside from that, it's going to deteriorate eventually. So.
Oh my gosh.
Smell for a really long time.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Welcome to Atlanta. What is that delightful aroma? Well, funny you should ask.
Yeah.
There's bodies.
Horse guts everywhere.
Yes, that's the horse story that he loves to hear. My dad actually, anytime he meets somebody new that he's more or less comfortable with, he asks me to tell the horse story.
The horse story.
Yes.
Well, you're gonna tell that one the rest of your life. That's a terrifically terrible story. Oh man. Well, so being in law enforcement and coming from these different areas, I know. I think he's is it chaplain? Do you guys have a chaplain level? Lane.
Yes.
Yes.
Sharp. He's a good friend of mine, and
Dusty.
what's his
Dusty.
Dusty. Helped him find a home about 100 years ago, and still friends. So that means I must have done it right. But he's one of those great guys that talks about the services that you're doing in the community all the time. Can we talk about how you choose your projects and some of the things you're involved in right now in the community?
Absolutely. So it kind of depends on time of year when we can set up events, that type of thing. And we look at what certain organizations are doing or who actually needs the help. And our help, what we do doesn't just help outside and help everybody else, but we also help internally where we have brothers that are having financial issues, struggling, or they're going through medical issues. And so we even raise funds internally as well to help out our members. On top of that, we also have what is referred to as the 31st chapter. When our club was still new, we had 30 chapters before our first member passed away.
Wow.
So our founders decided the 31st chapter is going to be dedicated to our fallen brothers.
Those souls.
So we can always remember
Gives
them.
me goosebumps
Yes.
just thinking about the 31st.
Yeah. So
Wow.
So we actually have a 31st chapter fund, and as soon as a brother enters the 31st chapter, this coming from law enforcement, but we shroud the eyes on our front round on our patch as a show of respect and to show that we are in mourning for a brother, and that is worldwide.
Wow.
That is for 10 days worldwide. Everybody will shroud their eyes on their front round.
Wow.
And then, but the 31st chapter fund, we will actually cut a check to the family to help out with any expenses immediately and try to help them out.
Wow. What a terrific idea. That's amazing, because a lot of times you're not planning on dying.
Yeah.
And most of us are poor planners. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, I should have a will. I should have a trust. I should. And I think I don't because I'm immortal still. You know what I mean? But none of us are, right? And that's a great idea. Way to support one another. Except for Face, who's immortal.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I learned 3 months ago that I am not. And it's a miracle that I am sitting in this chair.
Well, if you own a motorcycle.
Was that a motorcycle incident?
Uh-huh. And it's still in the middle of a lawsuit and under investigation. So
What? Wow.
What happened?
I was thrown off of my motorcycle at 70 miles an hour on I-15.
What?
And damage to my head, broken bones in my back, fingers.
Wait. 3 months ago?
Yeah, August 4th.
Wow.
Wow.
As I said, immortal.
Wow.
So
What
It's
happened?
a miracle you're here.
somebody decided they needed the HOV lane more than I did. Cut a couple of lanes over, and then freaked out, or for whatever reason decided they needed to continue through the lane, struck the median barrier, which bounced the car in the air. She spun, and that's when she struck me.
Oh,
I saw the car go in the air, so I tried to make a lane change to get out of the way, and she spun right into me and knocked me to the other side of the freeway.
oh my God.
Wow. Were you wearing a helmet?
That is why I'm sitting here. Yes.
Wow. Well, thank God. Thank God you're here.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a miracle right there. It happens quick on these bikes, and I think, and I hear stories like that, and it makes me, when I pull away from my garage, I think that, I don't know if you guys do this, but maybe it's a sign of my age, but I think this might be the last time I'm pulling away. This might be it. Might be it. And so it really makes me very present with my, I have a beautiful family and a beautiful home, very blessed. God has shined his light upon me, and I know that, but it really makes me appreciate that. I think this kind of a lifestyle, owning a motorcycle, do you guys feel that way, or am I alone that way? Do you ever think that?
I think about dying every second I'm on it.
As soon as I get on my bike, I have a moment of like, this is a decision, and so I don't know if that means I'm thinking about selling my bike, because it doesn't feel like it. I still love my motorcycle, but I hear stories like this, and I think, what a miracle that you're even sitting here today. Mm-hmm. Happens quick. Well, I love the 31st chapter. I'm grateful that you're here. It seems to me that service is the reoccurring theme that's running through your organization. What attracted you to the Punishers in the first place? Was it the service mentality? Was it the law enforcement mentality? Like, what is the draw?
It was a lot of things, actually. So with our chapter, we actually originated from a small local MC. We were single chapter. Myself and a few others founded it. And after a while, like our goals, our bylaws, everything we had was almost identical to what the Punishers have already established. And we ended up meeting another local chapter and talked to them about the Punishers. And the first time we talked, we went away, had a meeting, and we're like, yeah, we love what we have. We love the small camaraderie we have. And then we met them again at another ride and talked to them more, and that's when we met again. And I talked to one of the other presidents at the time, and he got me more information. And just so happened we were having a barbecue that night, so we had a barbecue. I went over all of the Punishers SOPs, so the standard operating procedures, and said, hey, so I was president of that club at the time, and I was like, hey, let's give it a week. We'll reconvene in a week. We'll hold a vote. And Ghost here, like 45 minutes later, it's like, you know what? After reading through all that, talking to those guys, seeing what they stand for, what they represent, it's identical to what we are trying to strive for, and we want to continue to grow. So why not join a brotherhood that is worldwide? And he said, I know how I'm going to vote, so let's just get this vote over with. And everyone agreed. So,
yeah, we already know how this is going to go. Let's just get it done.
What are we talking about? Let's do this. I love that.
What were those tenets that really drew you to the Punishers?
So one of it was the in-service to others. they really wanted to focus on giving back to the community, giving back to people in need. Like one of the rides that we do here locally is like we teamed up with Wingers down in Spanish Fork.
Wingnuts.
Wingnuts, that's
yeah,
yeah,
Wingnuts.
Wingnuts down in Spanish Fork, and we help sponsor a ride for its service pets for veterans. So we get veterans that are in need. We raise money to be able to buy dogs for them, and the trainers that we have aligned also. We get the dogs and the trainers through another organization, which vice president of one of our other chapters, he's on the board for that. It's Iggy 622. So they focus on getting training for the life of the dog to that service member, and the trainers will actually go to the service member's house and work with them and the dog one-on-one to train them for their needs and what they need that service dog for.
That's amazing. What
That's
a great
really
plan.
cool. That's a really good cause.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That's
and
a really big success too.
That's awesome.
oh yeah.
Well, if so that's a great initiative. Also serving within the brotherhood, serving outside the brotherhood, a lot of service happening here. I take my hat off to anyone that is doing service. I think that if that's one of your core values, you're in one of the right places. As I've grown older, I've come to learn that you surround yourself with those the people that you want to be around. You know what I mean? I've got less and less time for nonsense, if you know what I'm talking about. And so I can see the brotherhood happening, but on a national level, how many chapters do we have here in Utah?
We have 4 chapters in Utah currently.
So there's like a Davis, like northern Utah.
Yeah. So we have northern Utah, like Salt Lake County, Utah County, and then St. George.
St. George, okay. And all of the chapters are built with similar profiles, similar lines of work. It's all everywhere
Yes.
across the nation. It's all about law enforcement, military,
Not just the nation, around the world.
around the world.
See, I want you to. You said that 3 or 4 times. Will you dip into that a little bit? Where are the Punishers at in the world?
Everywhere.
21 countries?
Something like that, about 21 countries.
I thought it was 26. I know we lost one, but
Is it 26 now?
I thought it was
So
26.
we'll just start, obviously, Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't count.
That doesn't.
Is that a country?
Actually, I absolutely
You want to take that
love
one back? We'll cut it out later.
No. Filthy Canadians.
yeah.
Cut it.
So I actually absolutely love those brothers. They travel down all the time to our events here in the States. They are some amazing men and great brothers, and they're the type of guys that once you meet them once, you guys are best friends with them, and
Sure.
they will do anything for you. And it's kind of like having a lifelong best friend where you don't need to see them all the time, but as soon as you're together, you're right back where you were. And they're amazing.
Yeah, it's
amazing
boot
guys.
time.
Yeah.
Boot
The
time.
boot?
Boot
The
time.
boot
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, if they ever bring me Timbits though, Timbits has kind of gone downhill. So,
What is
What's
that?
Timbits?
Tim Hortons, it's
Oh.
like Dunkin' Donuts
Oh.
up in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yep.
Yeah, they used to be great, but now they're kind of
They're slipping.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's great. So Canada.
Canada, we have Italy, France,
Belgium,
Belgium.
Germany,
Wow.
Germany.
Spain,
Spain, Israel.
Israel, yeah.
Well, with this many chapters all over the world, what are the? I mean, I would imagine that you have a worldwide events, national events, local events. Let's talk about that.
So yeah, we do have local events every chapter, like us trying to schedule around other local chapters or regional areas, trying to make it so we can attend their events, they can attend ours. It starts to get a little difficult, but
There's not a lot of open weekends in the summer.
no, especially
You're playing-
Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's every weekend. Somebody's got something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually have, currently it is 2 events nationally. We have nationals,
Where's that held?
and it changes every year. So, or every event. Let's see, last one was in Colorado.
Oh, nice.
Then the one last December, that was our
The winter one.
winter one was down in Mississippi.
Right, yeah.
That one was awesome, and that food down there.
Right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Grits? Can't you make grits this good? Why can't we do this at home?
Nope,
You
it's not the
can't.
same.
You should see
No.
what happens to these boys when I cook some decent Southern food.
Yeah.
We have one guy, Chief. He usually, quite literally, licks the bowls clean.
That's amazing.
No washing
No.
required.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
put them
even
back in the cupboard.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you go to these national events, what do you guys do?
So one day is actually dedicated to different meetings. So we have like national officer meeting, worldwide board meeting, president's meeting, national sergeant at arms meeting, national enforcer meeting, regional captain meetings, and
So organizational stuff.
Yes,
This is how things are
organizational
working.
stuff,
This is the
yeah.
reporting up and reporting down. Dues, bylaws, everything is being covered.
everything,
Okay.
everything, any changes, and then go on a ride. So this year they had 2 rides. I know one went up to Pikes Peak.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
Where in Colorado was it?
it was,
Denver.
In Denver.
yeah, just north of Denver.
Okay.
I can't remember the small town name.
No worries. So,
Yeah.
okay. Up to Pikes Peak. Great ride.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, I had to work the entire event with my position. So
Oh,
yeah.
You were one of
You
the
overachiever.
facilitators of the event.
No, with me being a National Sergeant at Arms, my primary duty is working security during national events.
Oh,
So
got it. All right. And then, so that's like day 2.
that's the first day.
Yeah. Oh, first day.
So, well, yeah, the first night is it's usually like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event.
Okay.
Thursday night is when everyone gets there, and we usually party.
Meet and greet.
Yeah.
Meet and greet, party, and then,
Connect with Canada.
yep. So, oh yeah.
And is are the Punishers a male-dominated club
Yes.
or okay?
Yeah, it is a male-only club, so traditional in that sense.
Excellent. And then okay, so we've got Thursday. We all get together. Then Friday we're all hungover, so we're gonna go to some meetings and be miserable.
Yep, absolutely. And then Friday night, it's
We're gonna party again.
party again. Yep.
And then Saturday we're going for a ride.
Saturday is a ride, and then that evening.
How many bikes are we talking about in this ride?
They had, I think it was
600.
something like that. Yeah. So it was a very, very large group to where we actually had to contact all the local agencies, and they were shutting down intersections for us.
wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be one perk for the Punishers. You've got connections to make that,
Oh,
that
absolutely.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, not that you didn't know we were in town.
Yeah.
We get
No,
some help.
we give
Oh,
them
yeah.
all a heads up, let them know we're coming. And
Well, I'm sure
who
that
we
the
are.
chapters there, all the chapters there, they know it's coming. It's like it's a big deal, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you schedule out a national organization. It's it's happening next year and where and when, right? Already.
Yeah.
Dang, that is
So,
so cool.
I will say Colorado, our brothers up there did an amazing job organizing it, getting everything set up. They did very well.
That's cool.
That's
I
awesome.
bet there's some local pride too in the departments. Like we're hosting this. Let's make this right. Let's do it
yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, that's badass. I love
Really
that.
cool. Yeah.
And then so we got Saturday. We've gone for the ride. Now Sunday, everyone starts to depart. Everyone's
Yeah.
going home.
So, well, Saturday night we actually hold a banquet, and they go over awards. We have different awards for a ton of things, like Punisher of the Year, who has basically risen the most and helped out the most, and
It's just service
exceeded-
awards, different
different
opportunities.
service awards,
Huh.
that type of thing, and
It's fantastic.
we even have mileage awards.
Oh,
So
really?
who puts on the most miles?
Yeah, you're the guy.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna out you for that.
So we have it split. So we have Northern U.S. National Mileage Champion, which I was for last year for 2022.
How many miles is that, may I ask?
So I submitted to 26,428 miles. So
Holy leather ass, brother! That's a lot of time in the saddle. That's
Hey, I don't know
amazing.
if you know this or not, but that's enough miles to just barely circle the globe once.
oh, cool! I didn't know that. I didn't know. And then the Southern guys, it's always from Florida. Those guys kill it.
They rally down there. They probably have more
Riding days.
Yeah.
But I bet they ride the rain too. They're not afraid of the rain because it just rains down there
Well,
all the time.
Well, the guy that
just
won it
waited.
last year, Dirt, he's actually the one that got me into the Punishers, so a little bit of pride for me. Dirt, yeah.
Dirt's your guy.
Dirt is my guy.
I like that.
But he rode across the country, twice last year?
This year.
Or this year, excuse me.
Yeah.
But,
Oh my hell.
I mean, he was, how many miles did he rack up last year?
I
What was
think
his
it was
number?
like 33
Yeah,
or
something stupid.
36,000 miles. I can't remember.
Dang.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a whole motor rebuild a year.
Yeah, you're getting 2 sets of tires going through that run. That's crazy. Wow.
Wait, I gotta ask, what do you ride?
Which one?
That's
There's
a
the
great
right
question.
answer. That's the right answer.
That makes sense.
So, and I have ridden all 3 in one day. So, my work bike, 2020 Harley Electric Glide police bike, which is really fun. And then I have a 2016 Harley Fat Boy S, which is mostly stock.
Mostly stock. The logo, just the logo.
The only thing that is stock is the frame.
Maybe the windshield. Maybe.
No, the windshield was Memphis Shades. But
All right. Okay. Let me see how this works.
so the only thing stock as far as motor-wise on that bike is the lower case. That is it.
Wow.
So it has a
You do
lot
your
of
own
money
work?
into it. No, not that much of a work. No.
All right.
Like I'm good adding accessories and doing oil changes and services and doing brakes, all of that. But when it comes down to
That's science, man.
yeah, no, I'll let the professional certified guys who will cover it with a warranty take care of that. And
Good.
I have a fantastic local shop that built it. And
You want to do a shout out for those guys?
yeah, Chapel Motorcycle Shop.
Chapel.
Apple.
Preach.
All right.
So
Those guys do some good work.
oh, absolutely, and they killed it on my bike.
Really,
Yeah.
some good work.
Oh, absolutely.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
what's the
shout
third
out
one?
to Chapel.
What's the third one?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Third bike. So a couple months ago, I just purchased a 2023 Road Glide ST, one of the fast Johnnies.
Yeah.
So it's that blue with the white racing stripe.
Oh yeah. I remember your bike.
Yeah.
You won. You win the
No,
points
he
over.
beat me at the slow
Wait,
race.
are you
No,
talking
on
about?
the
Are you
look.
talking about best bike?
best
or-
bike, the best
yeah.
bagger. Yeah, the blue and white one. I put my vote in for that one.
No, unfortunately I didn't. But another Punisher won that with his 2018 CVO Road Glide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just talk real fast that you guys should be outlawed from all slow
rides,
drag
yeah.
competitions, any riding?
That is not okay.
It's not fair.
You guys were parked. I think it was you. Just kind of parked sitting on your bike.
No, that was
That was him.
That was him.
No, that was him.
Oh man.
It was him.
That was amazing.
It was impressive. Your bike didn't move.
Yeah.
That was good
Balance
stuff.
it on a knife edge.
We
Very
did a
nice.
training event one day where we went to an empty parking lot and we were just practicing slow turn maneuvers and just going slow, and I'm right behind him, and when it comes to slow, I feel that I'm pretty damn good at slow. And I got behind
Yeah,
him
he
and
is.
he just kept going slower, and then he would stop, and then he would move an inch and stop, and I kept getting closer and closer, and you technically, if you pass or go around or out of the lane, you lose.
Right.
And he just came to a dead stop, and I was like,
Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
I've never laid. I mean, I've been riding most of my life, and I've never laid a bike down.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
knock on wood.
You better,
hang
find
on.
something
Hang on.
here.
This is wood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Some of it.
Knock on wood, but and I was like, no, I got to get out of this because either I'm going to lay it down or I wasn't about to do that. But yeah, he just came just to a dead stop, and I'm like thinking, dude, you gotta go, move. And I was like,
Nope.
No,
No, I don't.
parked.
How in the hell do you do that?
So, I've not nearly had as much time as he has, but I was motors trained in Georgia.
Oh wow.
So-
Is that like a place to get trained at?
No, for police department.
Okay.
Police motors. So I did 3 years of training with them. I was never officially assigned to the patrol unit, but I rode with them every month and trained me, kept up my skills. And so I had basic and advanced certifications with them.
Very cool.
So through that, and then, I mean, shit, I've been riding dirt bikes since I was 4 or 5.
Wow.
It's just been a part of my life
What is
in
this?
its entirety.
What is the secret? Because a rumor, because we were all sitting there watching you do this, said that you have to sit up almost on the tank. Don't sit back in the seat.
So that it helps change your center of gravity. But what's going to get you to do what I did, what he does, and what all the motors do? When it comes to motor training, there are 6 things that we teach you that are, if you don't do these 6 things, you will not pass, you will not complete it, you will not ride like a motor. Look, lock, lean, clutch, throttle, brake. So by utilizing your clutch, your throttle, and your brake, you create friction. When you create friction in the bike, you can stand up like I did. And then if you want to make those tight turns like we do, look where you want to go, lock the bars, lean into it, and then utilize clutch, throttle, brake. And, I mean, you can watch us do it. We'll turn circles inside of 2 parking stalls easy.
Yeah.
And I have my
I've seen the races, the maneuver races, and I'm like, how are they doing that? Is that a specialty bike? And no, it's the service bike. It's your.
I can get on your bike and do it.
I don't know if you throw that big old pig around. She's healthy. I'm just gonna say it. But yeah.
What do you have?
It's a 2018 Harley Road Glide CVO. It's just the gunship gray of my Navy days.
Yeah, I can do it.
I bet you could. But then I'd get her back all crooked. You know what I mean? What happened?
You wouldn't get her back crooked.
No, it'd be handled.
Yeah.
All right.
Now the
you,
floorboards would be scraped up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Your floorboards might be gone.
Yeah.
I'll tattoo your driveway out here for you.
Just figure 8s. All right. Well, no. How about no?
I guess that's fair.
I love that fat girl. I don't want her scraped up.
That's fair.
That's amazing stuff. Well, I could use some slow practice. I'm terrible slow. I feel out of control at slow.
Well, it's a good thing that you mention it because we are currently working on something to start putting out some of those skills to y'all and like the general public.
What are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
So we're in the process of.
I might get in trouble for this later.
Yeah.
You can call me.
So yeah, we absolutely love the writing community. I don't care what your background is, anything, and I think with both of us being in law enforcement and search and rescue and seeing and knowing a lot of people that have crashed on their bikes, or a lot of it is they just don't have the skills to be able to react appropriately on the roadway. So we decided that like a lot of the police training that we get, it focuses on safety while out on the roadway and being able to those tight turns and being able to slow down quickly and knowing how that bike works and making it just an extension of your own body can really save your life.
Oh yeah.
And so
I got a great video of it saving my life.
Yeah. So we decided we're gonna try and start up an advanced rider school.
I'm in.
So we haven't set the exact hours, but we are looking
This is
at
still
a 4-day
very much
course.
in the process, and we're still discussing it.
Yeah.
But
So the only thing that they have out here, at least in Utah, is a 5-hour course for experienced riders. Minimum requirement on that is 2,000 miles on a bike.
it's not an experience.
That's not an
No,
experienced
it's
rider.
new, still a new rider.
So, and
You got to take it in for a service if you bought a new one. You haven't got your first service on the
yeah.
bike yet.
So one other thing that we're going to do is a beginner rider course, but to pass our course, it's going to be a lot more difficult than what any other course or the basics for the driver's license division is. We want new riders and experienced riders to come out and be the safest rider they possibly can, and knowing the limitations of the bike and what their abilities are. And I honestly believe that anybody that can jump onto a bike and is willing to take a hit to their pride and be told that they're doing something wrong and this is how they need to do it, they could become one of the best riders there is.
Well, you'd be foolish. You'd be foolish to think you know it all. I think I know everything, and that's when I realize I don't know anything. That's just like an opening too. And so anyone that doesn't think they can improve in a skill that's going to save their life, come on. Like, that's silly. I think it's a great idea, guys. I would love to help promote that and get that out there. Is there a cost per
Again, still in the
Still in
process,
the works.
still figuring it out. But if it's something you'd be interested in, once we actually have a viable product, we'll let you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
totally.
love
Let me
that.
know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll fill that class up for you in a quick hurry. How big is a class? What do you?
6.
6 people.
Yep. So that way it's more
Hands-on.
one-on-one
Yeah.
time with an instructor. We're not out to fill the classes, make money.
Right.
We are here
To improve skills.
Improve skills.
Yeah.
And like me as a first responder, so part of my job is actually a fatal accident investigator for the county. So I go out to fatal car and motorcycle accidents
All the time. You see
all
it.
the time. And I absolutely hate going to a scene and seeing a bike down. That is, personally, I have been to an accident scene where I got called out. I didn't know any information about it until I show up and I see a bike and I recognize it.
No.
It's happened multiple times. So that's the unfortunate side, and I want to do everything I can to make the riders safer. We're gonna have to deal with the idiots in cages, people that are in their own world and only care about themselves and aren't paying attention
They're
to
not conscious.
anything else. Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and what is, in your experience as an investigator, as you're seeing these things, motorcycle and auto alike, like what's the single biggest contributor to the accidents that you're seeing? Because there's got to be a trend.
So, a couple things: speed, distracted driving, and under the influence.
So speed for the conditions doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's for speed
So,
for conditions.
yeah.
And then under the influence and distracted driving, texting.
Yes, texting, eating, talking to passengers and not really paying attention to the roadway, or paying attention to the radio, but most of the time it is their phone. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that's good things to think about if you're listening to the podcast and you are guilty of any of those things. And I know I am. I can be better at that.
Oh, we all are.
We all are.
We all suck at it.
Yeah. But being conscious could save a life. That's a thing. And it doesn't take much to just put your phone down. My daughter, I got to tell you, she painted my thumbnail. I had such a problem with it. She painted it red so that I would start doing my thing. And I'd do that red thumbnail to remind me to stop. She painted it red. I walked around with red thumbnails for a second. And I was surprised at how much I did it. I wasn't even conscious of how much I was on my phone. But it was a good idea to like bring me to that awareness. And I just plug it in and put it over there. Get my book going or podcast and try to forget about it.
I think we suck at it more as cops because we rode for however many years. I've got a computer sitting next to me.
Right.
I was
Playing
I was
solitaire.
like, I'm running to a call and I'm typing the dispatcher and I'm also driving, which is not good.
Yeah.
Let's make that super clear. That's not good.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But we have that kind of experience, so we think, it's just my little phone. I'm good. And then
This is nothing.
You get the training, then you get lazy with it, right?
Yes.
Kind of like on a personal note for me, it's like every time I'm out, I'm always watching everyone around me. Like the moment I pass you, I always make eye contact with the person to see what they're doing. Like if they're on their phone, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get away from you.
Yep.
Now okay, person behind me texting blue Audi, that type of thing. I try to keep a mental note of who's around me and what everybody's doing around me, so helps keep me safer.
That's something I've really liked about having a bigger bike. I went from a Kawasaki 1600 to this 117, and there's something there about this person's not paying attention, and you can just kind of get away from them. Of course, you want to be going with the flow, staying safe, but I never appreciated that until I got the bigger bike, and it's just I feel safer because I can get out of the way if I need to. Sometimes you can't. That car's going to spin around and come get you.
Because I had a 117.
Yeah.
And it did not help.
Didn't help. But there's some value in having the horsepower to get you out of trouble. Crazy stuff. Well, so as we're talking about the Punishers and we're talking about your local club specifically, what do you see happening, or what is your goal? Do you have for this next year or this year as far as growth and affiliations, or where's the Punishers going?
So, growth, we're always open to talk with anybody that is interested that can pass a background check, because we do have brothers that are in certain positions that cannot associate with anyone convicted of crimes.
So a background check, no felonies.
No felonies, even misdemeanors have to be explained. There are some that we'll be okay with, like
something happened.
driving violations that happen to be misdemeanors. As long as they can explain it and say, hey, I had drug charges when I was 17 and now I'm 35 and I haven't had anything since then we'll look at that.
Okay.
But
what else do you need to do in order to be a Punisher?
So you have to have your motorcycle endorsement.
Okay.
Have to have your own motorcycle, obviously, and you have to ride it. So
Imagine
it's
that.
surprising. We've met a few clubs that's not a
It's not a thing.
Not a thing. You don't have to have a bike.
Yeah.
How do you have a? How do you
Why
have a
would
club?
you be
It's not a motorcycle
club.
club. That's
Yeah.
a social club.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But great folks, just a weird perspective for a motorcycle club. So continue.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and then either military, law enforcement, fire, first responder background. We do accept like-minded on a case-by-case basis, and really it's also not just what your background is, it's also who you are. We do have a prospecting time.
How much?
Minimum of 6 months.
Okay.
I've seen members get patched in at 18, 19 months, so it
Just
takes as
depends.
long as it takes.
Yeah.
Yep. And with that, it's learning who we are, what we're about, getting to know each and every member of the chapter, getting to know each and every member in the state, and also attending events and knowing our bylaws, knowing our SOPs, and knowing their chain of command. It's a lot like military and law enforcement service, where you don't break your chain of command and you follow your SOPs.
When you guys ride, do you ride in order of chain of command?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Okay. So growth, number one. What's the next thing that you would see yourself in the next year?
So in the next year, so every year we hold the Utah Red Rock Rally, and that's all the chapters in Utah. We get together and host that. Last year we held it actually down in Mesquite because it was actually warm and it was April, so it was
Makes sense.
fantastic getting 90-degree weather. And so, so with the Utah Red Rock Rally, we've held it 2 years in a row now, and with that, we actually team up with the Utah FOP Foundation, so the Fraternal Order of Police, and we raise money, and all that money is used for mental health support for current law enforcement officers in Utah. I think in 2022, we raised enough funds that I think it was like 97 officers were able to go get treatment and deal with some mental health support issues. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Good for you guys. I know that is a thing, and it is only going to get worse as the world gets crazier. We've got to take care of that mental health, make sure that we're all mentally strong in this space. I think I look at my experience in law enforcement, and I always felt like, you have this crazy expectation of incredible performance coupled with incredibly low pay associated with incredibly high social standards. You've got all these like things that are incongruent, and you have to really love the job. You can't be there because it's not going to make you rich. It's not going to make you rich. Thank you. And so you have to really love the job. And so I think that's cool that you're providing services to people so they can live a healthy life in that environment, because it is tough. It's a tough place to be. So
Absolutely.
amazing. Okay, so we've got the events, and what else? One more thing that you're looking forward to.
So yeah, riding for me.
I was gonna say I'm actually gonna try to beat the mileage award
really?
next year.
What's the plan?
Good luck.
Yeah. You've got some trips
Oh,
planned.
it's on.
Why do you gotta be like
Yeah,
that?
Come on, faith.
Because look who you're sitting next to.
Yeah, you just need a little bit of belief here, just a little bit of faith.
My brother gave me a map of for our general area for the best route to ride all 48 states. And I think it breaks it down to 10 days.
Nope.
And
Oh my
No.
God.
10 days.
My back just went out just listening to that.
Just over 8,000 miles.
Oh my God!
I'm thinking
In
about
10 days?
10
in
No.
10 days.
That doesn't even sound.
Okay, hold
Yeah,
on. Why
that's-
would you punish yourself?
Yeah,
for
cruel
10
and
days.
cruel
Like, if
and
you're
I
gonna
want
do
that
it,
award from him.
okay, if you're gonna do it, like, give yourself like just take a month, 3 weeks.
3
I can't
weeks.
I can't take that much time off work.
Okay, I mean you can do it in 10 days, but it's
10
not gonna be
days.
enjoyable.
You're gonna
It's
be
just-
Well, actually, I don't know. We just did the Iron Butt Award. We
Iron
rode
Butt.
all the way down to Delta, and then up to almost to
Reno.
Reno, and then I-80 all the way back. We did 1,000 miles.
And how long?
19
Just
hours.
19 hours. And I was actually still good to go. I mean, I was actually thinking about riding into Wyoming, turning around, coming back.
I just
Again.
want to throw out on this. My wife joined me for that, so she's badass biker chick,
Yeah.
and so a couple months before, we were actually riding out to Wendover because we love those casinos. And so it was 109 degrees on I-80
Oh
when,
man.
like right before we were getting to the salt flats, and my wife actually passed out from heat stroke.
What?
Oh my God!
And she ended up falling to the left side of the bike. I had that road glide for maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was like a week. That was
Yeah.
your. I
It
thought that was your
was-
Do you
first.
have a seat on the back? Like, was she?
Yep. So
held
she
in?
had a backrest at the time.
Okay.
I have a tour pack now. So she fell, and I actually ended up grabbing her before she fell all the way off the bike. Her hand dragged on the road, and I was able to pull over and get stopped. And
Oh my God.
Oh
yeah,
no!
You're
and
basically riding in an air fryer at 119. You know what I mean? Like that's cook up a chicken
109.
nugget.
Yeah,
109.
109.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to say 119 because you're sitting on top of a gas explosion
yeah.
at the
And
same
asphalt.
time. Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So and she was out of it for about 5 minutes. She wasn't really
Completely
alert.
unconscious.
Yeah.
What?
So like I don't know how, but I got my side stand down, leaned my bike over, kept holding her up, and just held her up on my chest. And I was waving for cars for about 5 minutes before an awesome veteran pulled over, and he helped. He's like, "Yeah, I saw you waving, and I knew I needed to help you."
Got her in the air
Yeah,
conditioning.
got her in air conditioning. He had cold drinks, and this is stupid part of me. It's like, oh, we're going out to Wendover, so I cleared out my saddlebags. I had water in there. I had a first aid kit, and I just kind of grabbed them and tossed them out in the garage onto the shelf. And
No.
so I had nothing. And yeah, now I have first aid kit in both saddlebags. I've got tourniquets. I've got bleed stuff. I have water that I always pack. And then I also got a cooling vest that you soak in water for my wife to wear. I got her a modular helmet instead of just a full face so she can open it up, get air when she needs it. And
She still ride with you?
that was, she did that 1,000 miles couple,
She is
about
a
2 months
badass
after
biker,
that.
babe. That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Because I think if that happened to my girl, we'd be
That bike's
done.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother, but I'll stay home.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, and getting the tour pack really helped her with that.
Yeah.
So,
Those are
yeah,
nice.
even the tour pack's ugly, and bikes are made for looks and speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the one the quick.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
the way
oh,
to
yeah.
go. So let me ask you about your first aid kit. Do you have a place that you get your first aid kit? Do you assemble your own?
Right here.
Is that right?
Right after actually her accident, and I started thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, we're not as a club, as a brotherhood, we're not prepared
Yeah.
for that. So me and my girl who hello.
There you go.
I gotta eat this thing.
Yeah.
She works in the medical field, and me and her both went online and looked up these like little mini
IFAC.
what?
IFAC.
IFAC little things, and we just ordered stuff online and filled up. I think we ended up. I sent out on our group chat, said, "Hey, we need first aid kits on our bike. Who does not have one?" And a bunch of people said, "Hey, I would like one. I would like one." Ended up getting like 15 brothers that said, "I would like one." So me and my girl just went out and ordered them, filled them up, and then I handed them all out to church. And I made a rule that you will keep this in your left saddlebag.
So everybody has
So
this in the same
everybody-
everybody
spot.
knows where
it's
it's
the
at.
same thing. You know,
What a great
everyone's on the
idea.
same page.
Make a
so
note.
Got it.
That's a great idea.
Write that down.
Yeah, that's a good
Write
one.
it down.
Yeah, make a note. Well, very cool. So that's in the next year. You have a lot of growth, a lot of things happening. This organization has been around. I was looking for the date when it started. It's been around
1999.
1999.
July 4th.
Is that right?
No
yeah,
kidding.
that's our birthday.
Huh,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So you see yourself being a member of this organization. You're a lifer. You're in for life. There's a lot of people that have been in since the beginning.
Yes.
And that's the way that it'll be. Do you have what is your oldest rider that you have in your?
Ooh.
Oh wait.
No.
Or Utah.
Wait,
or
did
total?
you just raise your hand?
Wait, Utah
So,
or total?
Longest
Utah.
serving time in Utah is him.
No way.
Yeah.
How old are you?
29.
29, and you're the oldest serving in Utah.
Yes.
Did you bring
Not
it out
oldest
here?
age.
Oldest
Not-
in the
Longest
club.
time in the club.
Longest time in the club. Yes.
In
So
Utah.
I was pulled in by Dirt, who I mentioned earlier.
From Florida.
Yes. So we actually, at the time, living in Georgia, we lived in the same apartment complex, and we had garages one space apart.
Oh wow.
And he saw me out one day while I was still in the police academy, and this is my first motorcycle. You know, I'm out, I'm shining it, cleaning it up, making it look real nice.
Oh, hang on, wait a minute. It was an off-road.
Like a dual sport?
KTM.
That was my fourth bike, but no.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you could classify that, but
No, my first one was a Yamaha FZ08 2013.
Ooh. All right.
I wrecked it racing in the
Of
mountains
course.
behind Dahlonega. Anyway, that was my first bike. I was out polishing, cleaning up, and Dirt walked over to me, and we just got talking about motorcycles because he had 3 in his garage. So we were
you know you have a problem when you got 3 bikes.
No, you don't.
Do you have a problem, Bart?
I do have a problem because I don't have. No, my problem
you
is
don't.
I don't have all my bikes that I want.
Oh,
So-
That's the
there you
one.
go.
Yeah.
There's different situations for different bikes.
There
you need
is.
a bunch of them. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
You need the show bike, you need the tour bike, you need the speed bike, you need the one to go around town, and one to put her on the back of.
We just one of our friends just bought the new Harley Dual Sport, the
Pan America.
Pan America.
It's pretty sweet.
It's a badass bike. I was impressed with that bike. He says it's much more comfortable than what we're riding. I haven't ridden it, so I wouldn't know, but it's a cool looking bike.
It's a cool bike,
He
but
keeps
if-
right up.
But if I'm going to get a dual sport again, I'm going to get KTM because it's built by a race company.
That's what it's made for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Harley, don't get me wrong. Harley did a good job. But
What about the Africa Twin?
I've ridden one once. It's kind of cool. I don't really have enough time to give an educated opinion.
Okay.
How's that?
Well put. Well
But-
At least he didn't say BMW.
Yeah.
we'd have to kick him out. if he had that.
No. But yeah, Dirt's the one. He came over and talked to me. We got to talking, and he told me about this group of fellas that he hangs out with and what they're all about. So, since I was actively in the police academy, he said, look, you qualify and come out, meet the guys, have a conversation. And one thing led to another, and my patch-in date is October 1st of 2016.
Damn.
So,
Wow.
7 years now.
Very cool. Good for you.
Now, oldest age.
Oldest age.
Definitely not me.
Yeah, definitely not him. Because I'm older than him. And
There's a lot of people older than
I'm
me.
Yeah.
older than you. So.
Not Lane.
I'm not sure who. No,
Older still.
no, not in Utah. In the club, I would say
Oh, okay.
late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
When they still ride.
That sounds about
You
right.
got
Yeah, because we have one brother in New Mexico that he comes up here. He had to buy a trike.
I was gonna
Can't think
say,
of his
yeah,
name.
that's how you know if you get the old timers in.
Yeah.
How many trikes you got?
There's a few. So and like we have a brother that ended up getting hurt in an accident and almost died, but luckily he didn't. And he still rides, and he can't walk. His muscles are all messed up on his leg, and so he had to end up buying a trike, and he's still out there riding. We've had brothers that have lost a leg, and he now has a sidecar on his bike. And
Still kicking.
yep.
Was he at the motorcycle rally
the sidecar? Is he up here?
No.
All right. There was a guy at the Thanksgiving Heroes motorcycle rally that had a trike or a sidecar, and it was.
That was an old man.
Yeah.
He had some money into that.
Yeah,
that
it was beautiful.
I remember the bike you're talking about.
Yeah, it looked like it could be in the parade like right now, ready to go. All right, so good stuff. And then so you've got quite a group. Youngest riders you're riding?
21 minimum age.
Okay,
Gotta
pretty
get him
good.
a drink.
Pretty good spread
Yeah.
of guys.
And they do. I don't know. I should have brought some, but have you ever heard of Malort?
Oh God.
Lord?
Malort.
Malort. Yeah. For some reason, this is one thing I don't understand about the Punishers, is their love for Malort.
I've never heard of it.
You don't want
You're
to.
better off.
So
You're better off. It's just. Is it a beer?
No,
No,
see, at this
it's-
point, you should have brought some and just had them try it so everybody can
Yeah.
watch.
oh yeah, that would have been fantastic. So
Hey, I'll break it down really quick. Just go to YouTube and type in Lord.
there's some
There's
great
a
videos.
really funny video.
Yeah.
Just the name of it makes me a little
Yeah.
sweaty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a brown liquor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gross.
It's a liquor. and-
Malort.
Yeah.
It's like licking a dirty sock.
Yeah. So I'm convinced the only reason that it stays like on the shelf is because people buy it and say, "Hey, friends, try this,"
Yeah.
and then they are like, "Oh shit, I need to have these friends try it." Yeah, that's the only way it stays.
It's
in
dirty,
business.
huh?
Oh yeah,
All right.
but yeah, no, our prospects definitely drink that.
We have
Yeah.
we have a brother that's his road name is Malort, and
Yeah.
he carries
So-
a bottle in his cut.
Ready
Oh
to
my
go all the
God.
time.
So Malort, he actually
The person.
knew the person.
Yeah.
He knew that he was going to be drinking a lot of it. So he ended up going home drinking it every day until he ended up liking the taste of it. Yeah. And it is a very, very, very
That's a Georgia
acquired
thing to
taste.
do right there.
That's a shit sandwich with no bread.
Yeah. So
I won't do. I took my shot, and I don't need to touch it again. And I won't.
You're cured.
I am not cured of anything.
Yeah. Malort.
Yeah, that maybe.
Oh man, well that's good stuff. I admire the mission of the Punishers and the history. It's a rich history, and also the brotherhood. I think that's amazing. If you were to be talking to someone that's out shopping for a club that kind of meets this criteria, what would be the thing that you would want them to consider most?
So biggest thing I would say is the brotherhood, because from what I have gotten from this club is that we will take care of our own at the drop of a hat. So, for example, a couple of years ago, I was riding down to Louisiana for St. Patrick's Day party.
I like how he just casually
Yeah.
says that. I was just riding
Riding
down
to
to
Louisiana.
Louisiana. No
Oh,
big
yeah.
deal.
Hung a left and
So,
headed across the country.
yeah, so me and two other guys, we ended up going down south because we're like, hey, we want to try and get to where it's warmer. And unfortunately, timing, we ended up getting behind the cold front. And I don't know if you've ever ridden through New Mexico, Albuquerque area.
Oh, yeah.
So just east of Albuquerque, it goes up through a mountain pass and good elevation gain. Well, on that pass, I don't know if you've ever ridden by Braille. So
Once. Monarch
so-
Pass.
no, you know you're on the road when you hit the right rumble strips.
Yeah.
Then you go to the left. Then when you hit the left ones, you go back to the right.
Yeah.
So you know you're on the roadway. It was that bad of a blizzard.
Oh.
I was actually up on my seat, on my knee, like I was riding a snowmobile, trying to see over the headlight because it looked like Star Wars coming at me. with
You were in the
how much-
vortex.
Light speed.
Yeah, and we were riding, and we ended up pulling off of some random exit and to wipe off our headlights, kind of
Settle.
assess everything, and then jump back on the road because we were actually trying for an iron butt that day, and we were at 973 miles.
Oh man, tired.
And right behind us, pulled in a New Mexico state trooper, and that officer was like, "Hey, first thing, you guys are fucking nuts."
I like your style.
Yeah. And
I've been
then
following your tire marks for the last 10 miles.
and then he said he was following us and waiting for us to crash so that he could call out the accident and help us, but he ended up saying, unfortunately, we are shutting down the interstate. We don't have the infrastructure to deal with this, and we have to shut it down, and so you guys can't get back onto the roadway. And we're like, well, shit, we are in the middle of nowhere. There's one hotel that we can see. And so we go over there, and since they had shut it down, all the rooms were booked. Actually, the guy right in front of us, and this guy was an asshole.
Got the last room.
Yeah. So he sees three of us in leathers and full winter gear,
Soaking.
pull in on our motorcycles. We walk in right behind him, and he gets the last room that was available. And he turns around and says, "Oh, there's a hotel like 10 minutes up the street. You guys can just drive up there." And we're like,
Just
so-
drive up there.
"Yeah, oh, okay. You showed up in a car."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were kind of stranded, but I called the other place, so we didn't just drive down there, and they were booked, fully booked. So I was like, "Hey, I have a phone number to the regional captain down here." I called the regional captain. I said, "Hey, do you have any brothers near here? It's 11:30 at night. Any brothers near here that we can just crash at their place for the night? We'll be gone at 5 a.m. so that we can get on our way." And he's like, "Wait, where are you?" "You are 10 minutes from my house. I'll be right there." And he drove down. We followed him back to his house, and his wife made us coffee and had beer out, and they pulled out blankets, and we slept on couches and one mattress. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so
Wow.
I had never met this brother before.
Wow.
So that is the type of brotherhood there is. And there's stories like this worldwide with the Punishers. Is I need help, or I see it all the time. People are throwing it out there. "Hey, my kid is having issues. They need help." And people will drop anything and go help out their brothers or their brothers' family members. And that's really what it is. And one thing it's reoccurring is whenever someone does something for someone else, like when I thanked him for bringing us three into his home, unexpected, last minute, and all he said was, "It's what we do. We take care of anyone we can, and
Wow.
especially brothers, and it's what we do is thrown out there all the time. It's we take care of our own and take care of others and try and help where we can."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is powerful stuff right there. A national
Yeah.
family,
Worldwide family.
worldwide family. But that national, I mean, I can't see myself riding to Spain. I don't see that in my future. But cutting down to Louisiana, that's actually in the scope of reality. That's
We're going-
comforting.
Where are we going in May? I was about to say Germany, but that's
Arkansas.
You talking about the national?
No.
In May?
Yeah, May. Remember?
We're going to Germany. That's Arkansas.
France.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so our 25th year anniversary is coming up for the club, so our European chapters
Our hosting.
are hosting an event in May.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be thousands of Punishers there for this.
In France.
In France. So they're meeting up in Paris, and then they are riding up to Belgium for a big party.
Wow.
What they do, like, don't get me wrong, I love what we do here in the States. Over in Europe, and you see it on our Facebook all the time, they bring countries together like we bring states together.
It's about the same distance.
Now that's very true. That's very true.
Well, we only have two countries that we can bring into ours.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. Like, you'll see the posts, and you'll see, there's France and Belgium and Italy, and you see all the different country rockers, and it's impressive.
That is impressive.
Something I learned relatively recently, though, that motorcycle clubs in general, we think, they started here and whatnot, but the scene out in Europe, like the biggest motorcycle gang in the world is in Russia, of all places. Whether they the Night Wolves or the Lone something Wolves, and they're I guess
So-
a bad group, but still, that like Europe has a very big motorcycle
Oh,
scene.
they absolutely
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of their motorcycles are weird though, like, you know,
Well, yeah, the guy
sport
that
touring
They're
bikes.
weird?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Are they
there's a-
weird? Are they weird just because you can't get on them and like flat foot them?
yeah. I'm short, so I slam all my bikes to the ground and make them badass.
Makes
right there with
sense.
you. It makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
me.
That's right.
No, the guy the main guy of that Lone Wolves or whatever they are, he's like Putin's right hand man,
Oh wow.
and he looks like the part. Like if you were to make a character in a movie
Of a Russian
motorcycle gang guy,
the president of that club.
he is it.
Huh.
And he rides it like a VMAX. It's like the weird, like it just doesn't.
Sweet.
He's a Honda guy.
But I have a random question for you guys. So you're the law enforcement motorcycle club, right?
Yes.
How the hell do you arrive at Punishers as a name? Is there a story behind that?
That's a great question. Come on, old timer. What do you got?
All the time. Oh, goodness. My understanding is so it derives from the military with the guardian on our back. So the skull that everybody calls it. It's called a guardian. And it is there to protect us. So that is why that is on our back. Where the name came from, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, same.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I
but
don't really think there's an answer to that, really. Just
with the Guardian, so the skull that we wear on our back and on our front round, in 2015 it actually came down to a worldwide vote because there was a couple different nicknames that depend where you lived is what they called it, and they decided to hold a vote for what it represents, and the Guardian is what it ended up being with a worldwide vote. And the Guardian really represents what we are. We are guardians of not just ourselves, it's there to guard us, but also we are the guardians of our communities, of our countries, of our states.
Absolutely.
So,
Familiar with the term sheepdog, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Great. That's a great answer.
Can I ask one?
Go ahead.
since
No,
we're on-
please.
yeah. So why are your eyes red and theirs are not? Is there a reason behind that?
special.
So the red eyes represent a national member.
Okay.
So I hold a national position, and then other members just have black eyes. We also have another crew, which is about, what they say it was like 1.3% of our entire club.
Oh, Black Ops.
Yeah, so we have a Black Ops crew, which you have to have 3 years in good standing with the club before you can even apply to get this position. And they only accept a few guys a year in the entire club. But the Black Ops crew, it's a recognition of service for what they've done, whether it's special forces in the military, SWAT.
Wow.
So you have to have specialized training and experience, and it takes quite a bit to be able to earn those patches, and those ones are actually black and gray with red eyes.
Oh wow. Huh.
Interesting.
So if you guys are, a law enforcement LE, right?
Yes.
And now we're very new to this scene and all the different symbols and everything that's going on, but most of the other MCs, like they flat out when we sat down with the Rogue Souls, they said like law enforcement and motorcycle clubs don't really commingle. Has that been a problem for you guys from outside clubs, or they just steer clear completely from you?
No, so every once in a while we'll get checked to see if they can push us around, and I worked in the prison. I worked max, death row. Like, sorry, you don't scare me.
Not scary.
I've been face to face with true, genuine evil.
Yeah.
You've experienced that, I guarantee it. Working in the prison, like there are some people that just have that black shroud around them, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do my thing, but a big thing with that is they don't realize is we're just like them. We have that longing for brotherhood, for that camaraderie of like-minded people and people that you want to surround yourself with. And with law enforcement, we need that time to decompress. and
a safe place.
And a safe place, and that's where, at least for me, I can speak for myself, is that's where I find the law enforcement motorcycle club, because I have a true passion for motorcycles. I absolutely love them, to where, like, I get paid to ride a Harley. Then I go home and ride a couple more Harleys. And I want to start a business educating and training people on Harleys, and or even motorcycles. Doesn't matter. But,
He just doesn't want to train them on the BMWs. That's why he's going to leave it to me.
yeah.
I appreciate your commitment to it, honestly.
Yeah. But I really, that is my way of decompressing and being able to get a lot of the stresses out, because I'm like a normal guy. I don't go to therapy. I know it helps people. I have gone to a therapy session. It wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. This is my outlet. I've seen some pretty gruesome things, especially being the fatal accident investigator. And I can tell you there are times where I have to get on my bike and ride just to
Cook it out.
Yep. And that's what the brotherhood is about too, is we are in similar situations where we can really lean on each other and trust each other, but we also have that passion for motorcycles and that brotherhood and that camaraderie. And to the ones that say, oh, law enforcement has no business in the motorcycle club world, I'm sorry, but I wholeheartedly disagree.
We all
Why
get an
we're some of the
opinion.
best riders
So-
in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, and do I have anything against any of those other clubs? Absolutely not, because they found a group for them that they can bond with and have that passion. And this is my group, and we all have the same passion, and I get along with them, they get along with me, and we really do care about each other. And so really, like, doesn't matter your background, your club, organization, you want to be a lone wolf, doesn't matter, as long as you have that brotherhood, have that camaraderie, or are able to decompress that way. So this is my club, and I absolutely love it. And
Hell yeah, that is a great answer. I love
Phenomenal
that answer.
answer, yeah.
The thing that when we started to put our group together, and no comparison, of course, you guys have been around a long time, but this is a missing link that I think is happening in our culture right now amongst men, is a place, and I don't like to use the word safe, but let's just say safe. I can hang out with these guys. I trust these guys. I trust them to ride with them. They ride like I do. They're not doing some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
That's a completely different topic.
There's some crazy shit, but it's within the realm of crazy shitness. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is just my crew, and I can ride with these boys, and I know that the guy behind me is safe, and the guy in front of me is safe, and I can pull over, and I can be like, man, you're not going to believe the week I just had, and I can have that space, and I just think it's incredibly rare anymore. And when we were talking about it, how like our fathers in that generation, there was like bowling leagues and baseball teams and all kinds of things where these dudes were getting together and just hanging out and doing nothing except for hanging out and doing something that they enjoy doing together. It just doesn't happen anymore, especially since we've had COVID. There's just this huge separation happening. I think that there's a lot of isolation happening amongst men. And so I'm a huge supporter of, like, I don't care what you're doing, but get to doing it with other dudes because that have the same interests or goals or direction. It could be the gym. There's a guy that is part of our club. He's part of an RC club. Mm-hmm. Those radio cars, man, he loves those guys, and those are his boys. And I think that's where it's at. I think we need to promote more of this because it's healthy for us. Us guys need some dude time.
Oh, absolutely.
I have 4 daughters.
Oh, you need it more than anyone. Yeah.
Get me out of the house, man. I got to do some.
We have to rescue him from time to time.
Yeah. Help! I always joke there's a lot of crying and whining, and that's me just got to go into my room after a while. Just leave me alone. I'm going on a ride, man.
Do you also find that the bathroom is your safe place?
Yeah. Or on the bike. I got 2 spots. It's safe.
Well, yeah. When you're in the house, you're like, you go inside, you lock yourself. Leave me alone.
Yeah. My hideout.
Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
Kind of going along with that is we currently have a prospect. He is younger in his law enforcement career, to the point where he is always on alert, always watching everything, hyper alert, hyper aware. And I'm sure you've experienced it, is where you actually get burned out very quickly because you are always on edge.
Yeah, you can't sustain that.
And when he started hanging around with us, like, he was very quiet, very reserved, and he was just watching everybody. And seeing him come into our group and starting to open up, he's actually been able to relax because he knows he's feeling that camaraderie, that brotherhood of, I can trust these guys
to be myself,
and I can actually decompress and not have to be hyper vigilant all the time. And that's really what it is too. It's time to decompress. I can relax because I know these guys have my back.
Sure.
Now, to your point that you said, when you said you didn't want to say the word safe space, I think that's actually one of the best terms that you could put for it. I know that term gets thrown around in other contexts, but for us and for you, like, the way that we feel safe is so much different than the way the general public would say they feel safe. So for one of us to say that I feel safe with this group of people, I know I can drink with you, I know I can ride with you, I know I can confide in you. To that point, like when I had my accident, thankfully I was riding with one of our brothers, and he put out a text in the chat, and when I wake up in the hospital, I'm looking at his face, who is standing over me, and he's on the phone with my dad. I'm trying to get him out here and getting somebody out to me.
Oh, brother.
So, knowing that I have these kind of people in my life, it is in fact a safe space.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out, I was actually literally on my way to Sturgis.
He was on going to vacation and stopped his vacation because
It's that important.
I was in the hospital.
Wow. Powerful.
That's powerful. Yeah.
I think about my time in law enforcement, and some of the only guys I could confide in were in the business, because you can't. How do you explain that accident? How do you explain that horse thing that happened where people are going to be like, dude, I get it. This is how I dealt with it. This is how I got through it, because you can't explain the way that those experiences will bubble up into your marriage, or they'll bubble up into your relationship in all these other spaces, because that is something you can't unsee, and you've got to have a place where you can unload it a little bit. And do you do it through therapy or journaling or drinking or other behaviors that sometimes law enforcement go into, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier with that mental health awareness that you guys have, and the support that you're putting out there, because there's no safe place that you can unload or download that bullshit that sometimes builds up. And if you don't have a place to go like this, where do you go? You go to divorce.
You go to the bottle.
You go to the bottle. I knew a lot of heavy drinkers that were in the business back then, and I wasn't a drinker back then, and I just remember feeling like a tremendous amount of like, what the fuck do I do with all of this, And so it never really occurred to me the value of what you guys are doing for one another, or showing up in that light. That's amazing. So thank you for sharing that. That's powerful stuff. We here at the American Mastermind are grateful that you've listened to our podcast and been a part of our event today. Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up and explaining your club. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please share it, get it out there. The Punishers, they are an amazing organization, a worldwide organization, and they're looking for good people, like-minded gentlemen, to show up and be a part of their organization and engage in service in the community. They've showed up for my nonprofit and supported me, and so much gratitude coming from Thanksgiving Heroes. And I want you to know that this is needed in our world right now. This is a big deal. If you happen to ride a motorcycle, check these guys out. They have a Facebook page. Of course, we'll put some of their links into the comments here, so you can follow up and check in with these guys and see how things are going, and be a part of the movement to do good on a motorcycle. That's an amazing thing. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the American Mastermind Podcast. We will talk to you next time.
Thank you.